Welcome to the SwimSwam podcast. I'm your host, Coleman Schott. Whoa.
Redo.
Welcome to the SwimSwam podcast. I'm your host, Coleman Hodges, and I'm joined today by Tyler Fenwick, Associate Head Coach at University of Virginia. Tyler, how are you doing today?
I'm doing awesome. I'm home alone with my daughter this week, so it's the first time I've had baby Harper overnight without her mother, and we're doing well. She's taking a big nap right now. We're transitioning from the bassinet to the crib. So
Wow.
that's it's been moving day for her.
Yeah, I'm so unparental. I don't even know the difference. What is a bassinet? What's the difference between a bassinet and a crib?
Pretty small, and the one that we had, it's called a snoo. So it actually it'll rock and provide white noise during the night, and then if she cries, it'll hear that and it'll start to rock a little bit more. And but it's just something you can have next to your bed and right by you. And now she's a big girl, and she's at 8 months, and she's moving into her crib, and yeah, that's a big transition for a little one.
I'm sure. Yeah. But that sounds great. Just batching it for the week, as my dad used to say.
For sure. Just hanging out with the kiddo and the two dogs.
Seriously, we would eat every meal. My mom was gone, we would have scrambled eggs for dinner.
So I am very fortunate to have a wonderful wife, and she actually prep mealed me every lunch and dinner for while I'm away. And I am a very lucky man.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. I will find a creative way to make it back to her tenfold.
Well, that sounds great. I'm happy to hear you're doing well. Let's get into how Virginia swimming's doing.
Let's do it.
So I guess, to start things off, are you guys swimming right now? What's training looking like for UVA?
Our team is swimming in Charlottesville, and we're not allowed to coach them yet. So there's 2 pools rented. They're able to go there and swim. There's times during the day that they can do that. They have practices, but at this point, we're not allowed to coach them. But that could change in the very near future. I know fall sports at Virginia started back as of yesterday. So they're back on grounds at Virginia, and they're practicing and following all the safety protocols. So I do feel that swimming will be coming soon.
Gotcha. Wow. So yeah, that's pretty big news.
Yeah.
And so, if you can't coach them, what are you looking for, for them to be getting out of swimming right now?
I think right now we're just so glad they're in the water. And we have had a lot of people they've been creative during this break. Some people have gone and found Airbnbs with pools. They've gone to states that have pools open. Others are tethered to the side of the pool in a small backyard pool. Kids are wearing wetsuits and going out on lakes. So it's our team, I've got to give them credit, has been amazingly opportunistic in terms of finding bodies of water. And they've done a great job. I think at this point, we're taking the approach that everybody is coming back to swimming after a pretty good break. And they've been doing a wonderful job on their own. They've been doing their dry land. They've been staying in shape. But at this point, it's a lot of aerobic work, some skill work mixed in there, and basic things that we'd be doing anyway at the beginning of the season.
Yeah. I mean, that, and do you have captains leading those practices? Is it kind of a free for all? What's
there's actually there's a volunteer in Charlottesville that's helping out with those workouts. So he doesn't have any affiliation with UVA, but he's one of the summer club coaches for a former summer club coaches for one of our athletes. So he's helping direct things a bit, and he's done an outstanding job.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
For a lot of the teams that I've seen in Austin, that's kind of the case too. Kind of got to get your coaches where you can find them, following all the NCAA rules. And so, so it's just a male guy. So
all good.
So that's how your current team's doing, and I'm glad to hear it. What is recruiting for you guys looking like right now?
Right now, we're taking it pretty slow, and we're rolling with it. It's there's a lot of questions that still need to be answered. I have to say that UVA has been pretty wonderful throughout this process. We're not only getting email updates weekly, sometimes more than once a week from the athletic department in the school, but we've also been able to meet live as an athletic department on Zoom each week. And so they'll update us with the most recent legislation, what the plans are, but then also we can ask questions. And that's really, with this process right now, with COVID hanging over everything, the ability to get good information out is critical. And so we're getting information from our athletic department. We're understanding more of, okay, this is the path things are going to head on, but then we're able to also get that out to recruits. And that's really important, because there's so many rumors right now. There's so many things out there that have truth to them, but aren't necessarily true. So we're trying to relay those points. We're talking as we normally would. One thing that's really changed for me is Zoom and FaceTime. I have done very few phone calls throughout the last 4 months. I've really made it a point to make sure I'm face to face with people over Zoom or over FaceTime. And I think there's a whole other element to the conversation that I really, really enjoy. You get a lot more out of it.
Yeah. I feel like things have taken a more long form format. We're doing a podcast now. I never thought I'd be talking to people for 45 minutes at a time. It's kind of wild, but I'm getting used to it.
I'm totally used. Like this spot right here, I'm in my chair and I've got my computer monitor in front of me. I think I have burned a hole in this seat. It's I've spent a lot of hours here.
Yeah.
It's something that I'll take from COVID into the future, that I don't see myself being on the phone very much in the future. I really have enjoyed FaceTime and Zoom.
Yeah. Are there specific things that you've kind of come to enjoy about them? Because I know I talk to a lot of people and they're like, I don't want to have another Zoom call for the rest of my life. I'm sick of Zoom.
Well,
what are you enjoying about it?
I think that what I enjoy, a lot of the people I'm talking to, I can't have a face-to-face conversation with. Even after COVID, these are people that live around the country, live around the world. And so instead of just hearing a voice and having a conversation over the phone, I'm able to look them in the eye. I'm able to see body language. I'm able to see how they're reacting. Sometimes they'll show me what they're up to. Or I can show them what I'm up to. We discovered we have a pumpkin patch in our backyard right now. I dumped some gourds that my mom had bought and put in planters and over the side of our deck, and all of a sudden these big leaf things pop up. And so I look them up online and I realize, okay, we're growing pumpkins. But it's more interactive, and I think that that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Nothing beats face to face though.
Yeah. Yeah. And unexpected pumpkin patches.
I know, right?
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I think Harper will enjoy that come the fall.
No kidding. Yeah. You're just prepping for Halloween, which is every kid's favorite holiday.
Yeah. We prep for that 24/7, 365 around here.
So on the topic of recruiting, Virginia just had a commit, Kamal Muhammad, for the class of 2022. And, we were kind of talking before this for a few days about, you haven't seen a lot of kids who are sophomores, juniors, taper since December, and they might go a whole nother year and a half without actually having a real taper meet. And so what is this UVA staff's mentality, I guess, behind recruiting when you don't have a lot of data to go on?
Sure. I think that with Kamal, and I do want to clarify that a bit. We've been recruiting Kamal for the last year. So he was originally in that 2021 class. So it's and then he reclassified to 2022. So that's a little different case here. I think the main thing, I don't want people to feel pressured, like, oh man, there's already a commit in 2022, because I don't think that's the way to go about this process. With COVID hanging over everything, it has impacted. And the nice thing about swimming is we have objective data on every person that we're recruiting. And so typically that data includes 2 full years of high school and then the summer after their sophomore year. And I mean, I coached high school swimmers for a long time, and I know that they can have the breakout meet of their life at any meet, and it can happen like that. I've coached 16-year-old boys that had junior Olympic cuts, and 6 months later they have Olympic trials. It's just, things happen quick when you're in high school, and things click at times. And I think our approach right now is to get to know people, to do our homework. So we're watching video and we're talking to club coaches all over the country and getting to know the athletes, talking to their parents, and then just kind of letting things happen right now. And with in the back of our minds, like, I feel like junior nationals this December could be the greatest junior nationals in history. It will be the show of shows, because you're going to have all of these kids that haven't committed in it or haven't raced in a year, and all of a sudden they're all getting back in the pool now, and they're gonna have the opportunity to race after a year of not racing. I think the time drops are going to be fantastic. You're going to see kids coming out of Heat 1 that are just exploding onto the scene, and it'll be cool. I hope I'm in the front row at one of those meets.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought about that, but certainly that has the potential to set off some real fireworks.
I'm excited about it.
Now, so you're taking a more relaxed approach, getting to know people, kind of taking it slow. I don't know if you can answer this, but it piqued my curiosity. So are you guys able to offer scholarships right now, or scholarship money to certain recruits?
We can. That's not something that we're doing. You can't put it in writing yet, but I mean, you could certainly do that. You could discuss it, but it's, again, this is a tough situation. And to be perfectly honest with you, I'm not sure official visits are going to happen this fall. And I think that's very, very tentative right now. Maybe with a lean towards they're not going to happen at all. And so to start talking money with kids 3 weeks into this, it just seems a little ahead of things, and it could put undue pressure on young people that are already have a lot of pressure on them. And this is a point where they're pretty inundated with calls and emails. So at some point, that could certainly happen, but it's definitely not something that we're looking at right
now. And just, I don't actually know this for a fact.
Yeah.
So if you could give me and our audience a little clarity. So if an athlete commits to a school, and this doesn't have to be UVA specific, an athlete commits to a school, say they're a sophomore or a junior, and then they make a big time drop. Are you able to, kind of renegotiate their verbal contract and say, hey, we'd like to offer you this much scholarship, whereas before we weren't?
Yeah, and that's absolutely. And I think that's a smart thing to do too. It's you want to reward someone for outstanding performance, and we do that routinely with people on the team, regardless, whether it's academic contribution, whether it's kind of leadership at the pool, outside of the pool, or in the water. We routinely increase scholarships, but it's definitely something that we would talk about and perhaps do. It's that's a reasonable request.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about college swimming, and once they do sign, you're never allowed to alter a scholarship. Like, a scholarship remains what it was. All that can happen with a scholarship, unless there's a huge infraction or team rules broken, is the scholarship can go up. So it's pretty much what you sign for is what you're guaranteed, and that scholarship can go up. But yeah, it's something that we could visit, because I think you're right. There's going to be a lot of big drops. It's bound to happen. It has to happen.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly seems like it could be that way, especially without an NCAA's this year. For the current college student.
Yeah.
And so that kind of leads. We announced yesterday that the Ivy League is going on their own path. They're kind of let's see, expected to push all fall sports to spring of 2021,
yeah.
and that's that could impact a lot of things. And so in terms of this year, we saw a lot of conference meets happen. Every ACC competed within themselves, Pac-12, Ivy League. Everyone had their conference meet, but no NCAA's, no big shebang. How do you see the Ivy League pushing fall sports to 2021 in the spring? Do you think that could have a ripple effect in swimming?
I do. And I think I respect the Ivy League for their decision. And I think that they had assessed the landscape and made a decision that they thought was best for their student athletes. And where I see it impacting swimming is the Ivy League has a big impact when it comes to NCAA's. And so what I wonder is, okay, fall sports were moved to the spring. What is the status of winter sports? And if winter sports are moved to the spring as well, then essentially what it would look like is the Ivy League will compete against the Ivy League this year, and perhaps will not be involved in the NCAA, which would be a big loss for the NCAA. Seems like every year we have Ivy League swimmers breaking out in NCAAs and having fantastic performances. I'll make a Dean Ferris reference right now, because I know the viewers love Dean Ferris.
You got it.
We all do. But it's I think it would have an effect, and but we have yet to see what the plan is for winter sports.
Yeah. So for you personally, if all conferences were to adopt a model like that and say,
sure,
we had another year of, there's conference meets and no NCAA's.
Good question.
In a 2020, 2021 season,
yeah,
how do you think that affects, motivations throughout the year? Because also you still have Olympic trials. Do you think
sure,
you'd see more red shirts? Do you think kids would be less motivated, more motivated? What do you think that might look like?
I think that we definitely would see more red shirts, for sure. You'd see Olympic waivers there. And I think in a sense it would be sad. You don't have NCAA's for 2 years. Like, that's the pinnacle of college sports, and it's something that kids dream about from the time they're little. It's winning NCAA's. It's jumping in the pool when you win. And I think that in terms of motivation, that's that's a perspective. And I think that people can find motivation wherever they look for it. And I think that coming into this season, you can't take swimming for granted anymore. And the fact that we're able to train together and be together as a team, the fact that we're able to compete together throughout the season, if that culminates in a conference championship, so be it. And man, we would be celebrating like crazy. It's because there's just so much appreciation for what we have and the opportunity to compete at all. And we lost that for a while. And I have no doubt that people would be very motivated and eager to get going with the season and excited about what took place in February. Yeah, I'm excited about it just thinking about it.
So I'm gonna run with this theory for one more question. Yeah, because now I'm thinking about it, and I'm thinking, a conference meet, NCAA's there's no meet like it, and for the bigger teams, for the Cal, Georgia, Texas, NC State, I'm sure you guys are your fan section, at least, I'm sure they're strong. I'm sure they're going to get a lot stronger in the next few years. It's like when you have a good squad there, it can be a riveting meet. But for a lot of teams, they have 10 or less athletes. They have less than half their teams there. And and it's a lot different than a conference meet where you've pretty much got the whole team there, and it's a pretty special environment. I mean, I'm thinking especially of SECs and Big 12s when it's combined, men and women. Do you think that if there was only conference championships this season, and everyone knew that going in, and everyone, there could be kind of a virtual NCAAs where you just combine the results? And do you think people could get excited for that and get up and go?
Yes, I absolutely do. We're competitors, and we like a challenge. It's built in a swimmer and diver's DNA. So we're I think people, if we can't have NCAAs, get creative. I know Todd has been talking with Greg Meehan. He's been talking with Eddie Reese, and we're planning on having a meet the end of September, and we're going to shave and taper a lot of kids. And there's the potential there for a virtual meet between us and other teams, or the few teams that may come to UVA for the meet and against the rest of the nation. So it's we're constantly trying to find ways to compete, not just amongst ourselves, but with everyone else that's out there that wants that challenge. And I think that could be really exciting. There'd be a lot of hype around those conference meets, though.
Yeah, obviously NC's is the pinnacle, but yeah, if you have 5 different meets and each one is kind of like a mini NCAAs where everyone's kind of gunning for it, then I don't know.
And have we seen that before, where every team in the country has gunned for their conference championship? Like, it's I mean that could be a spectacular environment.
Yeah.
I could see that being really cool.
Yeah. And obviously not NC's, but hey, it could have some potential, and it could be our best option. Who knows? Yeah. So, in terms of a fall season, you just mentioned a potential dual meet at the end of September, with non-conference opponents. Can you guys even plan a schedule yet, or what can you guys do in terms of just trying to plan for it if the fall season happens?
So we're planning as if things that we realize this season will be unlike any other season, and we're absolutely planning for that. At the same time, we're planning to go business as usual with dual meets, with championship meets. I know we're planning on headed down to Tennessee this year for the Tennessee Invite. We still have our dual meets set up. There's been some dual meets that we've had to cancel or have been canceled because of athletic department policies, and those are mostly out of conference. So they're meets that schools aren't allowed to travel all the way to Virginia, or we can't travel all the way to them. We are having a tri-meet with Florida and Florida State this fall, which will be something new for us. That'll be at Florida State. That should be a very cool meet, a very fast meet, and we're excited about that too. So we'll be on a bit of a bus ride there.
No kidding.
We love the bus. We love the bus.
Did you guys bus to Knoxville last winter?
Yeah.
How that's not that far, is it?
We bus to Auburn.
Oh wow.
Yeah, the bus is great. We
That's
bus
awesome.
to Georgia when we go to the Georgia invite. Yeah, no, the bus is. But it's funny, like you're at Virginia. So what are the Virginia kids doing on the bus? They're studying. Like they're there highlighting books. They're on their laptops typing. They're either doing that or they're sleeping.
Yeah, typical swimmers.
For sure.
Is there a best bus story? Do you have a memorable moment from a bus trip?
Oh man, yeah, actually, I have a great story. I wasn't on the bus, so I was in Tennessee, and we swam South Carolina, in Columbia, and there was rain in the forecast. Fine, rain is not a thing. So we get on the buses and we head back home, and we're on our way. And to get to Knoxville from Columbia, you have to go through the mountains. You have to go through Asheville. Well, we get closer to Asheville, and the snow started, and it got real bad. And so I'm following the bus, and all of a sudden I see all these red brake lights in front. There must have been 4 miles worth of cars, trucks, buses, stand still, middle of the snow. And so I'm in the car with Lance Asti, and we make a right, and we get off at the exit, and we're frantically trying to find a hotel. They're all booked. We talked our way into a hotel, and so we got a room somehow. But meanwhile, the team is on the bus, stuck in this snowstorm, and they were there overnight. And apparently they had the time of their lives. They were singing, they were having fun. Like the bus was still heated. The TVs worked. Like everything was fine. There was plenty of food, plenty of water, but that was not a fun bus experience.
Wait, and so the team slept on the bus overnight?
Yeah.
That's wild.
And we had been in my car separately. I thought we were going to wind up sleeping in my car overnight.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we hit a streak of luck there that night.
Nice. That's pretty great. I've never heard a bus story like that.
That was a crazy bus story. I will never forget that night.
That sounds exceedingly memorable. So I guess to wrap things up, what are you, Tyler, focused on right now, just in terms of, getting through day by day, kind of trying to improve you and your team?
Sure. I think with the team, we're always putting challenges out there. And I think that's we've met with the team as men's team, as a women's team, the whole team on Zoom. We've done lots and lots of individual conversations with coaches and athletes, met with our groups, we're texting. So communication is strong, and we want to keep our eye on the ball. And I know we have 2 exceptional teams that have great shots of winning things this year. And we like to win things at Virginia. So we're getting excited about that the closer we're getting to going back to school. Personally, I've used this time certainly to better myself. I've had the opportunity to read a ton. UVA, I was very fortunate at the beginning of the pandemic. They paid for me to take a program through Oxford, University of Oxford, and the Syed School of Business. So I went through a pretty rigorous executive leadership program, through them, and that was very, very cool. I've also, like, as a hobby, I've gotten very into the stock market and investing. So that's like CNBC is on my TV pretty much all day long.
I've heard it's a good time to do that.
It's a very, very good time to do that. Some point the floor may fall out, but yeah, it's been cool, and I learn a lot that way, and it's a really nice, it's a good hobby. And I think the other silver lining in all this is I have an 8-month-old daughter and a beautiful wife, and I would never normally get this sort of time with my family. And I've been able to spend a tremendous amount of time with them, and man, do I appreciate it. It's been awesome. So I've enjoyed all the family time, and we have date night every night. We play with the little one and go on walks, and it's been great.
Well, that's all so great to hear. Tyler, thank you so much for your time and sharing some of your insight into the UVA strategies and swim
sure,
team.
Coleman. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have to bring you on again soon to get another update on Charlottesville.
Anytime.
You've been listening to the SwimSwam podcast. Stay tuned for new episodes every week. You can take SwimSwam podcast on the go by subscribing on your favorite podcast platform. Look for links in the description below, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos as well.